Hello, welcome to the Jewish Historical Society of Fairfield County's Archives. Please come in. I'd like you to know that the archives were started by Lester Sharlock and Irwin Miller 38 years ago, and their hope was that we would preserve the Jewish history of the community for our posterity. If you look over here, you see that our plaque dedicates our archives to Vivian and Irwin Miller. Vivian was our first archivist, and Irwin Miller, of course, was one of our first founders. Actually, before we give you a tour of the archives right now, we're going to take you back 18 years and show you what the archives looked like back then. You'll get a chance to meet Irwin and Vivian and Lester.
I'm Irwin Miller, and this is Lester Sharlock. We're one of the two first presidents of the old Stamford Jewish Historical Society, which is now the Jewish Historical Society of Greater Stamford. And we're here to tell you about this odyssey of how we got to these archives at 1074 Hope Street in the Springdale section of Stamford, and where we came from. So Lester, take it from here.
When we first were getting organized, the Jewish Center gave us a closet to use to store our archives, and it was about the size of a small pantry. We then realized that we need additional space to continue collecting the memorabilia of our Stamford Jewish history. We went looking and arrived with this space on Hope Street, which Joel Friedman owned, and this is about 300 square feet.
First of all, I'd like to thank two people who really helped to put this archive together, and that's Irwin Miller and Lester Sharlock, who put together all of the cubicles and the desks and all the furniture, the shelves, etc.
I'm putting in information but this is mostly local information from our newspaper.
I'm Eileen Nemoington, one of the workers at the archives.
Hi, I'm Linda Balser, and I'm working here in the archives at the Jewish Historical Society.
Hi, I'm Ellie Shear, and I've been working at the archives almost since we started the collections.
But we're filled to capacity now, and so it's urgent that we get some larger facilities. That's it. Thanks very much.
Welcome back. Come, let's take a look around. First of all, at the archives, we have books. These are the Joseph Miller collection, Holocaust collection, and other Jewish reference books. Over here, we have boxes of materials that we haven't filed yet. And this is from Ahavath Akim. They downsized and bequeathed us their documents. Here, in these cases, we have other bequeathed materials. These we got from the Norwalk Jewish Historical Society and the Bridgeport Jewish Historical Society. And when they closed, they gave us all the materials. Over here we have our gray boxes. Inside our gray boxes are various documents. There are letters, newsletters, they can be pictures, and it's a variety of Jewish organizations. For example, we have Bicultural Day School, we have the Jewish Ledger, we have various synagogues, and the JCC nursery school, for example. Let's take a look at what's in this gray box. In this gray box are all the records from the Joseph Miller Memorial Holocaust Collection. So we not only have the list of all of the books, their name and author, but we also have a document that shows you how much they paid for each of the books. Our book collection also includes Yizkor books. So for example, if we take a look at this book, we see that it is written in Yiddish, but it is a book that commemorates the communities of Piesk and Most, and it commemorates the people and their lives and their history. And of course, they're called Yizkor books because these people in these towns perished during the Holocaust. In this white box, we have the Gourny Collection. Their name was Goldstein when they lived in Danzig, Germany, and they were trying to get out in the 1930s. Documented in here are their lives before the 1930s, and also their problems in getting out of Germany and to the United States. All of these documents show the problems they had in getting out and what they had to do in the 1930s. And this is their actual visa that enabled them to go to Rio de Janeiro for 5 years. And then they came to Mauritius. And from Mauritius, they came to the United States and settled in Stamford. And they had a very happy life here in Stamford, which is also documented here. And he was even a volunteer firefighter here in Stamford. Now I can show you how things from two different collections can give us a better picture of a person. We're going to use a federal judge, Samuel Mellis, and if we look at the Congregation Ahavath Akim material, we have quite a few things about Judge Mellis. And from the Bridgeport collection, which we talked about a little while ago, we have a telegram from Abba Eben to Judge Mellis. We have a letter from J. Edgar Hoover. And we have a lot of material from the Shimshon chapter, which was the Judge Mellis chapter of Shimshon. We also have many plaques, awards, and pieces like this. These are the donations of Adath Israel Hebrew School in Bridgeport in 1890. And if you look really closely, you can see that people gave as little as 25 cents to the large amount of $5. The archives also has many variety of materials so that we can put together. So for example, this is a Workman's Circle membership certificate, and we have a picture of the picnic, which is called a socialist picnic, in 1910. We also have materials like this ledger, that it is the Secretary and Treasurer's report. It's written in Yiddish in the beginning in 1934, and then by the end in 1952, It is in English. The last thing I want to show you is newspaper articles, and this is about the Jewish farmers in Newtown. I myself was raised on an egg farm in New Jersey, so I was really happy to be able to see that there were also Jewish farmers in Connecticut. Last but not least are our oral histories. We have actually created over 250 stories in their own words. And in a few minutes, I'll be introducing you to Rachel Dreyfus, and she will talk more about how oral histories are created. So you see that we are an important resource, not only for researchers, but for the entire community. And we need your help and support. We have acquired many, many materials, and so we've almost outgrown our space. These materials that we've acquired also requires new technology. So please keep us in mind when you are giving.